Town, South Africa.
And we're going to show you guys how to Barspin today. And I'm Morgan O'Kennedy.
And I'm Murray Loubser. So Barspins, eh?
Yeah.
I remember learning them, and it was this big struggle. Like, it wasn't quick. I remember trying and getting nowhere. And it's a funny trick because once I learned how to do them, I would still fall trying them. And then I feel like now, even how many years later, I feel like I'm still getting better at them. It's constant. You can always get better at something even when you feel like you've got it pretty good. So
my experience was a little different. Like, I was struggling for a year to get it, like trying all bar spins out, but every time I would try it, I would just basically just fall over.
Yeah.
And then so I basically tried it a year, and then later on I just tried something different, and it took me like 1 month to actually get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, how did you basically start doing it the first time?
I remember I just kind of did the normal jam the back wheel into a wall and got the motion. And then I found a piece of ground that went into grass. So tar to grass. And I just bunny hopped as high as I could and threw it. And I would land without my hands on the bars and the bike would shoot out. And then eventually I built myself a flyout, and I made a little flyout. And then I had that much more time in the air to figure out what I was doing with my hands. And then I got them there, and then I just got better with it over time.
Jeez.
Yeah, how did you? Did you learn a flyout or?
Mine, I was just scared. I would every time I would throw it, I would just land and just be way too scared of it, or take a foot off, and I'll basically just land with my 1 foot on.
Yeah.
So the way I started doing it was literally just from back wheel, and then to full 360, J up like this, J up back, and then J up full bar spin,
and then bunny hop bars.
And then literally from bunny up, and then I started actually first bunny up half bar spins.
Hectic.
And I was like, okay, I think I'm just gonna always J up bar spin.
Yeah.
So I just kept J up bar spinning banks, everything.
Yeah.
And then the one that I was just I would just try 1 or 2, and then I got it third try. I'm like, what the?
That's cool.
Literally just from doing that all the time.
Yeah.
It just quickly came.
It's funny, I did it differently. So I never did the J-hop. Because I learned on a flyout, I just tried to bunny hop as high as I possibly could so I had more time. So I'll do the front wheel to back wheel, and then I'll just go for it. And I think because I learned it on a flyout, I'd already kind of figured out how to do my hands.
Yeah.
And then, so when I was doing them, I could catch it and land. But in the beginning, I did not throw my bars at all. I did the complete bus drivers. That's how I did them. And then now I throw them, but that just happened naturally over time. I learned how to bar spin without pinching because I was doing regular bars. But then when I started trying to learn switch bar spins, my bike would fall away. And I think it's actually really important to learn how to pinch when you're learning normal bar spins, so that when you're trying switch bar spins, you have your pinch and suicides and all of that. Because if you pinch for your bar spins and your bike doesn't wobble at all, and if you have it down in the beginning, it's really good. So what I did in the beginning, just to learn how to bar spin, was I'd jam my back wheel in something like that, and then I'd get the motion down, and I'd throw with my right hand, and then you catch underneath, so you bring your hand underneath, and you catch it almost on this side of the frame, and then this hand comes around and you bring it, and ideally you want your right hand to be, or whichever way you bar spin, to catch a bar almost when it's here already. So then if you start doing it into grinds and stuff, you can catch it and then drop into it. So you kind of just throw, underhand catch, and then get your other hand on as early as possible. Or you can wrap it around as well without letting go and just kind of go like that. It's like a bus driver. And then you just do that a whole lot until it's basically muscle memory. I would say you must do this for a week before you even do a hop bar spin or anything like that. So you just get that muscle memory down. You can start doing it with your eyes closed without thinking about it. Do it fast. And then once you've done that, maybe take it to a fly out or just something where you have more time in the air, and then you actually just gotta start throwing them. But I would also suggest learning how to pinch. You want to pinch with basically right foot stays straight or front foot stays straight, the whole leg, and then your back leg is slightly bent, and you push it inwards and over the saddle, and it creates this like V, and it just, you can see it just sits solid, and you want that in the air. So this knee's bent, and then that leg straight.
Okay.
So why do you like Barspins?
In the beginning, actually, I thought I was going to be one of those guys that just don't do bar spins and just do like learn tail whips, no-handers, and all those tricks.
Yeah.
But then later on, it's just like you want to do it because everyone's doing it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's actually just such a fun trick because you can quickly pop it into so many tricks. Like, ask this guy.
Yeah. I know, it's one of my favorites for sure. Like, you can do it into manuals, you can do it like half cab bars, you can do like double trucks if you're mad, triple trucks, whatever, quad trucks, or
Even like
nose bars. Like, my favorite trick for sure is probably a nose bar. Like, just a nose bar spin feels so good, and that's another whole trick to learn. But
and it's just like such a quick trick rather than a tail whip, like
yeah.
a nose tail whip versus a nose bar.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun, you can put it in anywhere, and it's so hard to learn in the beginning. It's so hard.
But once you get it,
It's just easy, and you almost don't have to think about it. But that
Yeah.
takes a while. That isn't quick. Like, for me, it was
Mm.
ages, actually. I don't know how
Yeah.
long it took you.
me it was basically a year, and then the last month
Yeah.
I tried it.
It just came. Yeah. It's funny because I learned them, and then I feel like even after 2 years of doing them, I was still learning how to do them better. Like, catch them earlier. And it's like kind of progressive. It's frustrating, and then you get it, and it's like easy.
Yeah, and basically like our bar spins basically look the same, and then yours basically got more into the pinch, where mine is still a little foot off onto the crank,
Yeah.
and you basically just got into a click, and you do it like it gets so much. I'll say it's way easier and better the way pinching it, the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like mine still sometimes.
You do the
gets a
crank
little-
pinch though. You slam your feet on the cranks.
Yeah.
Because my seat's higher, like I ran around quite a bit of a higher seat post than him, and my seat's quite fat, you can pinch that way. But when your seat starts getting lower, then you start doing the crank pinch where you move your feet on the cranks. Whereas the way I do it, because my seat's high, I can pinch from the pedals.
Yeah.
But it is, I would say it's better to learn my way, but then you have a higher seat.
But yeah, hope this video helps, and
Yeah.
we'll do some more.
Yeah, I hope it teaches you something. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.